Greetings, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to DevChatter. Thank you all for hanging out today. If you don't know, if you're new here, my name is Brendan and I am the host of the DevChatter live stream. You can find that right there, so you probably figured that out, but I figured I'd let you know anyway. Welcome everyone, welcome. I see a few people saying hi in chat, and I will acknowledge you in a couple of seconds. So, to cover what we are planning on doing today, just so that we jump in, we are going to be working on spiking our new overlay command that we started building on Saturday. So we're going to continue on this. It has us working mostly in JavaScript right now, while we get the essentially the display portion of it working. But once that is in place, we will go and jump back over to C# so that we can trigger this all through SignalR. So what are we building? We're going to build a new overlay piece that is going to let us show some fun stuff on screen, more like hype style stuff. I thought this would be a nice way to get back into things. I basically took a month off of streaming, and even before that I was mostly streaming just on Saturdays. So now I am starting to get back to my old pattern, and I figured, hey, why not go and do something core to a bot command, chat interactivity. Let's hit all the bases, hit some C#, some JavaScript, some HTML, and just refresh all of that, because I've been stuck in back-end coding land for a little while, so I even need to refresh it in my own head, what that stuff is and how it all works. And so hopefully you will all come along with me as we relearn all of that stuff. And by relearn, I mean like refresh it in your brain, because I can only keep so much stuff in there at any given time. I have to go look at it again, and then it's like, and then it clicks, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember all this stuff. But until I start working on it again, there's a lot of, well, cobwebs, we'll say. Okay, so, other couple of things that I should note that I just want to toss out there. If you are someone that's new here and you want to get involved in our community, as I said, I'm the host of the live stream, but there's a lot more to this community than just the live stream, and you should definitely join our Discord to be able to chat with me and the other members of our community, who, by the way, are awesome and do a lot of really neat stuff. So take a look at the link to the Discord over in the chat, and there are links down below as well. Additionally, if you haven't caught any of our old videos, or you missed the one on Saturday, Shadow, I love the spelling of your name, and welcome, thanks for that follow. If you want to catch some of those old episodes, either archives going all the way back to the beginning of 2018 when our stream started, or just more recent episodes, you can find all that stuff over on our YouTube channel. I think our stream from last Thursday went live on our YouTube channel this morning, and I think our Saturday stream goes on YouTube tomorrow. So link to our YouTube channel over there, so if you want to subscribe to that, it's there as well. That is not the only thing that's over on our YouTube channel. We also have our DevChatter Basics series and other videos that I put up there as well. So that is scripted, edited stuff, not the live stream format. It's both over there, so you can check that out as well. Okay. I guess I will finish by tossing those links in there. I saw a bunch of people say hi. I do want to acknowledge everybody. Hey, Nikki Supra. Hey, Wheatlall. Katrina S&B, welcome, welcome. And thank you, S&B, for changing the color of our lights. Always fun. What is this coding thing? So coding is just like a colloquial way of saying like programming. So like sometimes there's a language that computers understand that developers can write, and then a compiler will take the code that we write and translate that into essentially the instructions that the computer understands. Just kidding. SB knows how to code. I think he's just I think he's trolling us, but I'm not sure. Maybe he forgot what coding is. I don't know. Okay, so where did we leave off? .NET run watch. So I'm going to go ahead and run the code that we were running before. So before anyone freaks out, because we're creating this brand new thing and we're adding it to the bot that we're currently running so that I don't have to restart or mess with things, we're building this as a separate project. We're going to take this, cut it, and then paste it into our other project. So exactly, leading lady. In my career, I have had some times where I did more project leading than I did writing code, and I looked back and I looked at like Outlook like stats and things like that, and I was like, somehow I was sending literally 500 emails a day. That is not receiving, that is sending. And I was like, averaged out, I'm like, I don't even know how that was possible. Yeah, I wasn't writing code during that time period at all, but sometimes we get stuck in the not coding part of our job, and it is kind of terrible, actually, in some ways. Okay, so what did Wheatlaw say? I thought coding was just writing random words until the red squiggle. Wheatlaw, that is fair. Mark Schumann, welcome. Thank you very much for that follow. I know Mark. Mark's an awesome person. You should, if you don't know Mark, you should also know Mark. Not the coding part of the job. Yes, leading lady, I agree completely. The not coding part is usually... Wait, hang on. Oh. The non-coding part is either the most it's either the most boring and sometimes the most interesting. Not for good versions of interesting. Sometimes those not coding parts of our job are in fact the worst parts of our job and are quite terrible. I've definitely had some things in my career where you're they're sometimes the ones you remember. Yes. At first I was like, yeah, they're totally the boring ones. Wait a minute, they're not always the boring ones. I've had some terrible ones. Okay, so that changed color to that. This one's color will be whatever this ends up being, and this one will be whatever that color ends up being. Okay, and we'll see what happens. Sword fights during yes, could be sword fights during compilation, or like, hey, you joined Twitch for me. I appreciate it, Mark. Thanks. And hello, Coding Gorilla. Well, I'm glad you're looking into Twitch, because there are actually a lot of awesome people in Twitch that I should definitely mention. The Twitch Live Coders is a fantastic group of developers that write on Twitch. I've been a member of that team since it started, and in some ways before it did, because we had we had conversations a long time ago that were basically like, okay, we need to all work together and get one of us to partner status at Twitch so that we can create a team, no matter who it is. Like, someone needs to create a team, because there's amazing stuff you can do once you have a Twitch team. So it's awesome stuff. You can actually find a link to the whole team below this, and I recommend people check out the Live Coders, you know, at some point, because lots of really great things people are doing. No, it's not voted. But I guess sort of viewers voted for Twitch, because enough people watched Twitch's coding streams to so that Twitch was willing to make him a Twitch partner. And as soon as you're a partner, that's when you're able to make one. I believe Fritz is the only one that has been partnered since the creation of it. There are other partners in the team, but they were partners before the creation of it, and they're not entirely live. Like, the people that are partners and are in Live Coders, I think, were partnered before the Live Coders existed, and sometimes, like Fierce Kittens, for example, is partnered, and but not all of her streams are coding, which I think is probably why she didn't go and create a live coding team right off the bat, I think is the idea. Okay, so anyway, let's jump into some code. Where did we leave off? We were writing a little overlay, and let's have a look at what it does. Oh, whoops, it already went. Okay, so when I click the button, it makes a blue, a green, and a red little firework thing that goes flying up, and its explosion is tiny right now because we didn't really do the explosion, but we did that just to check and see what happens. And right now I have to refresh in order to get it to fire another firework. But that's the idea, is it shoots out a firework from the center of your screen. They go flying out in some place, and, you know, wherever they end up, cool. We want them to move a little bit faster than that, be a little bit more obvious. There's a variety of there's various changes we want to make to these, but the point is, it seems like it kind of works. So let's see what we can do with the code. A couple of things I definitely want to do with this. I want to change the way the little pixel versions work. I want to be able to make it so that we can put images in there instead. So like you could have it shoot up an emote and then blast out kind of thing. And then obviously also we need to have it like triggering over time so that I don't have to refresh the page to launch another one. But initial version, just proof of concept. Yes, we can build this thing. For anyone that is wondering, we are building from scratch, like vanilla JavaScript for the most part. We're not doing jQuery or anything like that. It's just HTML canvases. I usually like to do that on stream because I figure if you can understand the vanilla JavaScript, you can learn a framework and do it. But the other way around is harder. So I always recommend people learn the vanilla JavaScript first and then learn the layered frameworks on top of that. I think you'll go further with that, because if you, for example, do a document get element by ID, you can certainly use jQuery to grab the element, and it does basically the same trick, but it works a little bit nicer. But this one, obviously, in vanilla, like, you're not really going to do this that often because most frameworks have some way of finding objects. But those kinds of concepts are nice to understand at the lower level, I think. And that goes even for like TypeScript developers. And welcome to the stream. I am going to butcher your name, and I apologize in advance, and if you tell me how to say it better, I will try. Mechanikos, maybe? But I probably just really butchered that, and I apologize about that, but I gave it an effort. I tried. I hope that wasn't terrible, but either way, welcome. That in time, a lot of time goes into running a team. Yes, massive amounts of time into running teams. The problem with plain JavaScript first is that then you're a person who knows plain Java. well, okay. E for effort. Hey! Oh, good! Yay! No, I like the E for effort. I do try, and if people help, I can usually get the name better. I just sometimes like it's difficult. You told me it was from Spain, which helps a little bit. When people come in with a J in their name, I'm like, okay, I don't know what country you're from. I don't know if that's like a J or if it makes a Y sound for me, obviously. I don't know which one that is. It could be an H even. Like, I don't know. I just have to guess. And CMJ, welcome. Thank you for that follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. The problem with learning JavaScript is then you know JavaScript. Yeah, so WorldWake, I definitely agree with that. The funny thing being, JavaScript I knew before I knew C or C++, because I learned JavaScript in like, I don't know, 96 or 97 or something like that, and I didn't learn C++ for another couple of years. So I actually knew JavaScript first. I then forgot JavaScript and had to relearn it. But I think most of us forgot JavaScript when they tried to use it in a browser and found out that it was painful. And by using it in a browser, I mean tried to support more than one browser. Yes, JavaScript. We love JavaScript and hate JavaScript. All of us. Okay. So for now, all I'm doing is I'm setting up a few fireworks just so that we can see them go. Let's leave it at 3, and I kind of want to get a wider spread on this. So if I'm out to 4, subtract 2 ought to do it. Let's see what this does. I just want to get a quick refresh on this. Let's see what our fireworks look like. Okay, that's some better movement spread. I was just trying to, like, a rough idea. So I'm planning on doing, like, rotational arcs to determine the area we should be in. But V1, I just want to have it be, like, kind of shoots in the right general area. You still don't claim to know JavaScript. Well, that's fair. Do any of us really know JavaScript? Thanks, WorldWake. Have a good one. Feel free to lurk or take off. either way, glad you stopped by to say hello at least. Okay, so that tends to work. Let's work on the explosions, because the other weird part right now when we watch this, so they fly up in a way that's not bad, and then they explode, and I'm not sure you guys, I'm not sure any of the people watching this stream right now can see even the like one by one pixel, the single pixel that's coming off in the explosion, because we didn't really write that yet. We were just like, yeah, we need a particle. We'll do one. And it'll go to the side directly, which is fine. So render count, let's render it 60 times, 120 times, 120 times. It'll be there for 2 seconds then. You got to remember, I think we render 60 frames a second, so if you want it to do that, 120 would be right. Hey, Chris Jones, welcome. I see you don't have your name back yet. So the particle is going to live longer now, and it is not large enough. So the particle will make it 4x4. A 4x4 particle sounds fine. Okay, and what do we want to do for when it explodes? It explodes, and then did I make 8 particles and then just shove them all in the exact same spot? I did. I made 8 particles and shoved them all in the exact same spot because I didn't make them go around. So I was already making 8. Well, that works perfectly then, because that's what I was going to make. So I'm wondering what to do with this. Because I did it in a loop, but I'm trying to think of how I would even want to do this loop. So I almost want to just make 8 of them and just say we'll do, you know, 1 north, 1 south, 1 east, 1 west, 1 northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest. Yeah, so we don't have that yet. So I was thinking just do this and it would make it easier. Exclusive PR. There are not tests on any of this yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to on this code. So we have some, well, yeah, no, we don't have tests on this code. Some other code, so we have tests on some of our C# code, but we don't have tests on this. So what would that be? That'd be to the right. So that one's going east, and then this one would be like that. And then down. And then back 1. And then back to the left 2 with 0 there. -1 there. -1 here. -2. Wait, no. Wait, 0. 0 and -2 here. And then that is 1. And that is -1. If I thought that through correctly. So I'll need to change that into some kind of a loop or calculation based on angle, something like that. But for now, I think that gets us what we're looking for. This is just to get us the initial version of this. But yeah, that's the idea, as a basic. Ooh, oh, okay. There we go. Yep. So that makes a diamond when it does it. Pew, pew, pew. So alright, so this would be diamond shape. I almost want to just make this a, I almost want to extract that as a method that says make a diamond. And we're going to need to do, basically an arc at some point, where we just calculate where on the arc it's going to be based on these same kinds of values, and make rings as well. But that works out pretty well. So diamond is the first one, yay. Hey, Pudding, welcome, greetings. Welcome to the stream. I wondered how many people we'd get showing up on a Monday. Haven't done a Monday stream in a long time. Has been about a year, I think, since I've done a Monday stream. Ooh, I want to save this because I will then totally use it. Yeah, that's about right. I might use this. Let's say make diamond pattern. Do I need to pass anything to that? No, I don't. And it's... I don't have to... We'll make it available, I guess. We'll do that. For now. Make diamond pattern is a function with no name, no parameters, and that code. Don't need that. Although, more patterns. To do more patterns. Okay, so that look, yeah, all right. So that still doesn't look bad. How long? Wait a minute. Were those still that? Does the firework stay there? Oh, it does. It stays there while the rest explodes out around it. I thought that was gonna go away. I think I messed that up. Let's see if we can hide it. We render it. So if it hasn't exploded. So we'll say if it hasn't exploded, then you render it. Once it's exploded, you stop rendering it. That makes sense to me. Yay! Cool. That works nicely. I'm trying to think of what we want to do with this one here. I guess some of the debate I'm having, are we ready to move this into our main application and make this be triggered by chat to happen? Do I want to set it up so that it is triggered by a mouse click, for example, for now, so we can treat that as the input point that would be similar to chat triggering it through SignalR? Or do we want to look at doing emotes and other things like that in the explosion instead of just the pixels? So I think we'll probably support both or either. So inside of a firework, we made it. I think I'm going to make it more square for now. Yeah. Yeah, I like that better. Whoops. Come on back, VS Code. I didn't mean to close you. I don't know what you're doing. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, that's funny. And then the particles are 4 by 4. That was 12 by 12. 4 by 4 by 8. Did we increase or decrease the amount of pixels that we're highlighting? Oh, that reminds me. That's the other thing we have to change. I got it. No, I got it. What is this? You like Wheatlow's idea of calculating based on angle and velocity, also throw in gravity for fun? Yes. Exactly, Mark. We have all day. Yes. But no, I do agree. I do want to do something like that in the future potentially, but that is definitely not going to be V1. And I mentioned that at the beginning of this, that we're not gonna do the gravity ones where like, yeah, you like. You're right. Gravity's not that hard to calculate because it is just an acceleration to the velocity. But we're just doing static velocity for now because it's pretty easy to do. Let's see. Do I have... Let me see if I have something already that does this. Do I have a random color selection somewhere? Yes. Hey, Simon, welcome. You made it. We do have some people on this stream that work on projects that do have to deal with gravity, so I would give any of them credit on the statement that gravity's not that hard, but no one else. No one else. Do I not have a random color selection thingy already that I've written? All right, it's time for that. It's that time of the stream, everyone. Because I could just do 3 random numbers up to 255 in an RGB, but there might be better ways than that to generate random color in JavaScript. And welcome, Lil Ricky, I'm guessing, and Mr. Poolshot. Thank you very much for those follows. Welcome to the stream. Gravity's super easy. I can say that because you read it probably 5 times. Whoops, hang on. And I'm going to say Kyo, and because that's a little bit easier, but if you got a good way to say the other one, I will. And Ideas at Random, welcome. Thank you for those follows, much appreciated. Gravity, time for a round of golfing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You could just do a random with 255 on that, and that would be fine. This actually is not the worst idea ever. Just... for a random color. What's it print back? As long as you tack one of these onto the front of it, you'd be good. Yeah, so this is going to create a hex. Exactly. Yep. Yep, it just takes the maximum hex number, takes a random number somewhere in that hex, puts it in base 16, and then puts the number on the front, which I can't fault the guy. That works. Mobile app developer, not usually, though I have done some mobile development. Most of what I do is web applications, but I do some client stuff from time to time. It's been a few years since I've done anything all that serious with client application development. My hair is disappearing. I'm gonna need to mess with my chroma key. I don't know why my hair is disappearing, but it is. And I don't mean in like a balding sense. I mean like it's not showing on the screen anymore. Okay, so I was gonna do this for the creation of the fireworks. I need a random color. So let's just do this for now. Except that I want to do this in it. And someone's going to be like, but string concatenation would be just as fast. And I'm like, yeah, but that's way less fun. And we're here to have fun, after all. Okay, so random color and random color. All right, so now all of our little particles and fireworks should all have randomized colors. Let's see if it works. Yep. Looks like it works. Roberson, welcome. Thanks for that follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. You need to prepend to 0 if the length is less than 6. Oh! Wheatlaw, you are totally right. Yes. Yes, we absolutely need that. The funny thing, Lil Ricky, I know exactly what you mean. The hilarity of that being, I think you want it to be distributed less randomly so that because our human brains are bad at random and they get upset when it doesn't seem to distribute more. But yes, I get exactly what you mean. I don't want whatever that call is in the middle of the day. That is a great question. So anyway, Wheatlaw also had a great comment, and yes, I agree. I think it would be better to have a less random set of colors that forces better distribution of said colors. I think actually, I would definitely agree with that statement. I think that would actually be useful. It could be useful. It might not matter if we get more of them at a time. We may not care, because there might be enough distribution that we don't that we do notice some variance in it. But I'll have to take a look. JavaScript number format string number method is there not a nice way to do this? Hey, Coated Beard, welcome. No, I don't want a jQuery solution. Stop with the jQuery solutions. No, I don't want a Yahoo library solution either. Yeah, I guess it's basically just if the number of digits isn't... yeah, I just want to... Exactly, I want to pad the start of the string, essentially. I know, right? Stop. Pad start of string. Can I pass it with a number that a total number that I want to have? Pad start with the number 0. So I guess if I just calculate it myself. Oh, target length and pad string. Yep, that'll work perfectly. So pad start 6 zeros. So I just come over here and say pad start potentially. I think, if I didn't mess that up. Those seem to work. What has prompted this madness? No, we're trying to do some like overlay stuff on the front. In theory, this should be an even distribution along all the colors that that we can do in JavaScript. All right, we'll make 6 of them. So there we go. That looks fine, and that distribution of colors is, I think, fine. All right, let's make a button to trigger these. Well, do we want a button, or do we just want to make it any click on the canvas triggers them? Because I could see either way on that. Because right now, this refreshing it to launch it one time is not ideal. So, but I don't know what people are thinking. So, front end joys, yes, exactly. Yeah, so Coated Beard, definitely a lot of people, yeah, sort of a particle system pudding. Yes, if I really wanted to pudding, I should have just invited Mark onto the stream and been like, so Mark, do you want to build a whole particle system and do all the craziness of you know, I don't know, crazy stuff? Because Mark Miller's streams are absolutely insane. But yeah, no, I love Mark's streams. But that is one of those, like, yeah, I wasn't really planning on going that far. I was just going to do simple, not anywhere near the extent of what Mark did on that. I think for most of us, that matters a lot less. So, you helped make the particle system in the video game company you work for. Mark's stuff is insane, though. Yes, isn't it? Isn't it? You also want to comment on that white is impossible. Am I one short on that color? Sure, Wheatlaw, you got suggestions for me there? You got a suggestion on specifically what you think I should do? Let's see. Init that. Things. We're going to have add fireworks for now. Put it up here. We're going to say add fireworks. Right after we do the initialization, we will add an initial set of fireworks. And down here, I will return add fireworks as another part of this object up to this level, so that I can do a canvas sorry, because no one pays for okay, so yes, we all right, I'll go do the wait, make 2 random, don't you mean 3 random numbers in the range of 0 to 255? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Talking. You are absolutely right. That piece of code that person put there is untested. You're right. What is it? Will that actually expand those? Is it click? Yeah, click. That's it. And then this will be my function, unnamed function. I don't need the event, but I guess I'll take it. Fireworks.add. Fireworks.add fireworks. Will that work? Did I butcher that? I butchered that. What did I mess up? The canvas is not defined. Oh, right! Because I didn't pass it in there. Because that one had it, but that one didn't. So... I gave it the canvas to work with to track that. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now... No errors at that point. Seems to be working. So I can add additional fireworks. So there we go. So that seems to do what I expect. You get paid for so I actually do get paid for testing, just I don't get paid for testing the code that I put on the internet necessarily. You demand exactly what Mark Schumann said. It's like, I demand higher quality on this free stream. People put free content out on the internet. I demand they make it highest quality. Must be perfect. How dare you make mistake on the internet? You get paid just for testing at your desk. But you lose your job if you don't deliver. Yes, exactly. That is true, Wheatlaw. Most developers get paid for being present at the office and doing their work is what keeps them employed. I think you just I think you're right, leading lady. I think we all like to complain that it's like this should be the highest quality. Your free thing should be the best ever. I definitely think I won't deny it. I have those same complaints about free stuff all the time. It's like I can't really blame the person, but like it's hard to say that you don't go like, man, I wish that were better. Why didn't you make that perfect? It's like in your free time that you're donating to the rest of us. Sleeping Uneven, welcome. Thanks for that follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. So it reminds me of the funniest thing. So whenever people talk about like, are you a self-taught programmer, or did you go to college to learn how to program, or a boot camp to learn how to code, or whatever, I usually say neither. I like to say that I'm a community-taught developer because I learned to code from the community back in the 90s. Whether it be books that I've read that people wrote, or articles that they wrote, forums, even looking through people's documentation that they posted places. When people put their open source code on the internet that I look through to see how something works, that is the community teaching me. I've watched videos at this point, so I was trained to be a developer by the greater developer community. So what better thing can I do than also add to that developer community? And I think that's kind of something that I hope resonates with all of us, because we did not learn on our own, even if we directed our own learning. We learned because other people put content there. Even when you go down to like I was reading through the official documentation, because I also think of the fact that for a lot of software, the documentation is bad, and I complain about that. But when it's good and I learn a lot from that documentation about how something works, it didn't need to be there. That documentation is there because someone created that documentation for me to read. So thank you, developer community, for helping me to learn to code. So, that being said, I did then, after already knowing how to code, go and get a piece of paper from a university that says this person has a computer science degree. And then, you know, companies, you know, look at my resume. So, yes, did I pay massive amounts of money to a university so that they'd give me a piece of paper so people would hire me without question? Yes, I did. Okay, so yes, and I agree, Mark. When I look at other people's code, I often get angry. And sometimes that other person is me in the past. What if instead of doing the explosion into fixed directions, you selected 8 random unit vectors? I would really want them to be evenly distributed if I were doing that, then, Pudding. Yeah. Do project managers even know? There are some there are good project managers, Pudding. There are good ones and bad ones, as well as there are good and bad developers, good and bad designers, good and bad QAs, good and bad testers. No matter what you're talking about, there are good and bad people you can run into in any job. The challenge is that I think that many teams don't end up with an alignment of people that are good in all of these. You tend to find the ones who think that... And yes, Coated Beard, that would be the Dunning-Kruger effect. And yes, Pudding, I do admit to the fact that I paid many thousands of dollars to a state school in order to give me a piece of paper. Pick the first one randomly and then apply 45-degree rotations to the rest. That would actually be not bad, Pudding, because then you'd have an even distribution of them all the time, but what their offset is would be randomized. So I like that. And welcome, Major Geek. Thanks for that follow. Much appreciated. And I appreciate the clapping. I like that clap emote. That's kind of neat, actually. Yes, you paid. Yes, exactly. Many of us paid for that piece of paper. Okay, so that works nicely, and it actually looks way better when there's tons of them. Okay, yours is not even CS, but you only do CS work. Yeah, that's one of the other interesting points, is that you do not need no reason do you need a computer science degree to do the job we do. It is crazy that people think that you do. There are so many developers that that either don't have a degree or have a degree in something else that are just as good at writing code as anyone that has the degree. A good example of that would be, I worked at a company where basically our distribution is like every team had a lead on it. And I think only 2 of the leads even had comp sci degrees. The others, one of them didn't even have a degree because I think he went to go take a programming job and didn't bother finishing, because why spend the money if they're going to hire you anyway? And then another one had a chemistry degree, for example, and it's like, yeah, why do you... like, you don't really need the... It's like, the question is, do you know how to program? Cool! Like, whenever someone's like, yeah, you need to know all the low-level stuff. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, you could learn that from a book. All the piece of paper does is say, yes, you were willing to go to school for this length of time to be able to do it. So yeah, it does have some meaning, but it does not equate to programming either, because you can get that degree and not know how to program at all. One of the latest examples, a new project manager was arguing with me for days as to what the TTL does in DNS. That is awesome. Yeah, SNBC, that's my, so I wasn't talking about you, but I'm not surprised. There are plenty of people that have degrees in just some, you have a computer engineering degree, Crimson. I guess it depends on what you're doing with it, but maybe it's worthless. I don't know. They have value. So as I pointed out, the reason why I paid a university to give me a piece of paper that says I know how to do this is it green lights me through any place I send my resume. Like, it's on my resume that I have a degree, so it doesn't get thrown out. So if I want to go get a job somewhere, they wouldn't throw it out. At this point, I have enough years of experience that I don't think anyone would care regardless. But certainly for the beginning of my career, it is a nice way to get a door open to just say, like, hey, I have this piece of paper that says I know what I'm doing. That doesn't mean you know what you're doing, but at least gets you a conversation. You have no pieces of paper. Not even a high school piece of paper, Coated Beard. But again, you can program without that either. You don't need it. You don't need it. Okay, let's choose our random color. Well, that's thankfully, having done it for almost 20 years, no one seems to. Yes, exactly. That's my point, Coated Beard. Once you've had a programming job for enough years, no one cares whether or not you had the degree, regardless. But yes, exactly. If you have 20 years of experience programming, no one should be asking where you went to school. Well, that is silly. Because I would say you know, at that point you could practically oh wow, that is funny. Yeah, if you have 20 years of experience programming, no one should care where you went to school. That matters, like, not at all. In fact, I would be impressed if you could remember much from those classes. Okay, so is there actually I don't know of an actual JavaScript color object. There's an RGB function that I could use. Well, sorry, that's CSS. Because as far as I know, this takes a hex color, which I guess I could approximate. I could write it. Oh, Coated Beard, yeah. Are you Coated Beard? What country are you in? Yes, Visa. Yep, exactly. That's what I was about to say. What country are you in? Because I know because of visa restrictions and things like that, if you don't have a degree, you get lumped into the hilarity of the, like, oh yes, no degree. This is clearly unskilled labor in terms of the visa, and yes, it makes a ridiculous distinction kind of thing. Like, I don't know if that's the term, but there's something along those lines. I know some Canadians that do not have programming degrees and have trouble getting employment from U.S. companies because of the ridiculousness with the visa. Yes. Yep, that would be it, Coated Beard. And it is just dumb because, like, the rest of us are sitting there. It's like, why aren't you hiring this person? Hire this, like, they're brilliant. Like, what are you doing? What do you mean they're not qualified? That's insane. Okay. Do we want to write something complex that does this? Can't you pass an online? The problem is, Wizard, that exactly. Are they willing to pay that money just to get the piece of paper to work at the handful of places that are going to require it? X letters. Someone's gonna shoot me for that. I don't know who's gonna shoot me, but someone will. I guess alternately I could was this just one short? Yes, exactly. So I don't know how pricey it would be for a Canadian to get a piece of paper, because that would be the question. Because for the American, it wouldn't matter. Microsoft would hire them without it because it'd be no visa. Yeah, so that's the challenge, is having to go and spend like 20K just to be able to, and then having to go through a program just to be able to get that job is annoying. I totally get that. You have to be the best to get hired at Microsoft. No, you shouldn't be. That's the problem. It's the legalities of it. So one of the things that I often point out to people, when we're talking about these companies like the Microsofts, the Apples, and all the other things like that, yes, you are correct, DK, that this should be a 16. Yes. Sorry, the which I think is what Wheatlaw was trying to mention forever ago. In all these companies that like we know as like these top companies, the Microsoft, the Apple, the Google, the Facebook, which people are now trying to get the developers to stop working there, the Twitters, all these companies where you're like, they must hire the best devs. I will say they do usually, like, their teams usually have fantastic devs, but I will not stand that those companies are the best devs, because I know plenty of devs that do not want to work at those places and are just as smart as the ones that are working there. I've met the teams that are there. They really are brilliant people that work at those places. Like, Google has some brilliant developers. That does not mean that if you work elsewhere that you are not, equally brilliant at writing code. And welcome, Matrix. Thanks for that follow. So that's one of those things that I think people miss, is that are the people there great? Yes. But when you hire literally thousands of developers, not every one of those developers can be, the best of the best. There's usually some bar that most of them are going to be good. But then again, you also have to remember that we as people often do the thing where we just hire people that we like and or want to work with a lot of times, and that's just human. Like, I think that's just a human's default condition, is to do that, and unless we intentionally try not to, that's going to happen. And so even in an organization of that size where they're going to try to put in some restrictions that prevent that, I still can't imagine that it doesn't happen sometimes. So there's got to be plenty of people that get jobs at Microsoft because they know people at Microsoft that can hire them into jobs at Microsoft. And I use Microsoft as the example only because that's the one that we were talking about with Coded Beard. But like, the same is going to be true for Google, Facebook, Twitter, etc. What about the other way around? I want to get a job. You can get a job at Microsoft in your home country. Many of your previous trainings have gone over. Yeah, so what I've heard is that if you get a job working for Microsoft in your home country, there is sometimes a way to transfer in as an employee from elsewhere instead of having to get the degree to get around the visa. Is it 2 years? Okay. You were hoping that one of the few good things to come out of this year... Yes, Coated Beard. Yep, that would be nice. Yeah, the problem is it's way too long a time. Okay, so let's do a quick check on this. Here's what we're gonna do. Did you all know that the Windows calculator has a programmer mode? So that would be 6 Fs. Would be... So if we got a full 1, we would get this. Can math.random return 1? It can, can't it? So if it came up with 1, we would multiply this by 1 and end up with this number. But since we are flooring... is random inclusive? That's my question. JavaScript random, is it inclusive? But not 1. Okay, there we go. To less than 1. Okay, that is significant. Because what that means that is by going to 16, it is correct putting it is not. I just had to check that. So it is not inclusive of 1, which means that it cannot make this number, which means when we floor it, we go back to 15. So that actually did mean that we get white, and we do have to go 1 higher than the maximum value. Than the hex value maximum, I should say. So basically, this is 1 followed by 6 zeros. It is a million in hex. Like so, not a million. I shouldn't use that word because that's not really what it is. It's 1 followed by 6 zeros in hex. So it's 0x 1 6 zeros, and then that is this number. Does anyone have any advice for wanting to continue writing code after your job but you feel so tired, which puts you off? Work on something that's entirely not work related. Exclusive PR. I know exactly what you mean. So some people like, you know, casual games or things like that. Time boxing it, for example, if you want to do like a programming exercise or something like that, you could do if you were trying to do some kind of programming outside of work. That being said, a lot of times when people are wanting to do that, they're looking for practice or learning some new thing, at which point I would say this is a situation where you want to talk with your company and see if you can arrange, like, in some way get learning to be part of your company. So in a lot of organizations, what I try to get them to do is schedule some time during the week for their employees to actually practice and or work on something fun that is not related to work. And yes, Pudding is right. Do something that makes you happy. That's why I said, like, a lot of times people do like casual game development. Is often a fun thing. So I know a number of developers that have been looking at Blazor lately because, or WebAssembly, which is fall into the same bucket. So the idea is just make it as much not work as possible. Yes. No, I know exactly what you mean. It is really hard to do it when you are tired and burned out from working all day. I get that same thing. It is a tough one to keep wanting to program after a day of programming. Okay, so that should give us what we want a little bit nicer. Whoops. Not seeing, yeah, so the color distribution doesn't seem terrible. Some ways that we could adjust this to get a better distribution would be to restrict the range on those colors by thirds or something. Sorry, IO stream. I didn't see what you sent. So I have no idea about that project, IO stream, but no, whatever project that is not mine, I don't think, because I do not recognize it. No idea. I heard coding. Hey! That sounds about accurate. It's been a while. Admittedly, I haven't been coding on the stream all that much. I took about a year off. The year that I took off was basically just streaming on weekends only, so you'd catch me on Saturdays, and if I missed a Saturday stream, that meant there was no stream that week. So I have been lightly streaming for about the past year, but the streams are coming back as my schedule has cleared up a little bit, so yay! And you'd also suggest that the current situation makes it much harder. You've written most you could have. Yes, so much more challenging than just trying to code at home is that a lot of people are coding at home as their job now because we're all remote, and I think for a lot of people that is a tough transition, because then, like, if you're coding in the exact same space at home that you were when you were working, that's also difficult to do. Yes, I heard coding. Yes, we did some Code Wars stuff back in the day, a long time ago. Okay, so we can definitely trigger the fireworks as that. So I think what I will do is remove the initial fire from init. So init will just initialize things and will not trigger one on its own anymore. Instead, what it will do is just leave us in the state where it's ready for fireworks, so that we can have that happen at the beginning. When the overlay loads, it will initialize the canvas and the state that it is ready to have the fireworks begin, but then we'll have the commands from SignalR trigger these, so that we can have these come in after the fact, and we'll set it up so that a user command triggers these to just happen on the screen at some point when they want them to. I'm thinking I want to make them a little bit bigger too. Hey, Bravo, welcome. Greetings. Welcome to the stream. And if anyone is new here and hasn't caught the stream before, again, I recommend you click the follow button. It's the best way to get notified when we go live. I have been pretty regular now that we started up again, but for a long time, the best way to make sure that you catch the stream is to make sure that you just get a notification about it, as it makes it a little bit easier. And Janisku, is my bot not running? You know what? I wonder if it actually... I wonder if when I caught in its debugger, if that's what disconnected it. But either way, I'll start up that bot again. So there you go, Janisku. Have the regular bot again. It is back up. Congratulations. I am worried by the fact that the bot said hello twice. If it says hello twice, if it says hello again, then we're going to have to restart it, because that means there's something wrong with its OAuth connection to Twitch. Okay, Tim, welcome. Greetings. Welcome to the stream. Yes, say hello to the bot. The bot is so friendly. It says hi when it gets here. Okay, I think that will work. Let's... bravo! So we are still working on that. I'm going to be working on that later this week. So either tomorrow or Thursday will definitely be an i7 stream, Bravo. So if you do want to catch one of those, make sure you are here for that. It is really cool. We started adding moods to it as well, which is what we're going to be working on. So basically chat voting on what they want the mood of the game to be at any given time. So Should be quite fun. Hey, Tim, welcome. Yes, excellent. Well, I'm glad you're here. And yes, we will absolutely be doing some more Interactive 7 on the stream. For anyone that doesn't know, quick aside to tell you about Interactive 7. Interactive 7 is a program that we build for Final Fantasy 7 streamers because, again, as we're doing this stuff, we're doing, programming stuff for all the developers out there. We are also helping the gaming community that streams. Basically, these are people that, so specifically for the Final Fantasy VII ones, these are people that play Final Fantasy VII for the entertainment of others on the internet. And since I enjoy watching people do fun, nerdy stuff on the internet, including, various videos like, I'm a big fan of the Legal Eagle YouTube channel, for example. There are a lot of Twitch streams that I like. There's a lot of what I would say are like free content on the internet. And while some of the ways that you can help support those is by watching them, you can also help support them by directly donating money. In this case, with Interactive 7, we are building software that lets them interact with their communities better, which makes it fun both for their viewers and for maybe fun for the streamers, depending on how mean the viewers are. But then, since the viewers essentially spend bits in order to make the streamer, have some problem come up, that is, I guess, a money-making opportunity for them also, because that it gives the viewers something fun to spend their money on that keeps those people, from starving. Because as far as I know, most, with a couple of exceptions, most of the people that stream, classic RPGs on the internet are not the people making tons of money. That's the ones playing, like, Fortnite and PUBG and all the stuff that the kids are playing these days that I don't really know anything about. And by kids, I mean there are a lot of adults playing them too. Okay, and while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to toss links to stuff in the chat and then continue on with the code. Because there was, time to throw links in the chat, so I did. Yes, Janisku, the bot is currently working. Okay, so let's... Do we want to put this in the bot now? Let's put this in the bot. Derp. Okay. Bot time it is. Yeah, I just realized, because I don't know if Mark Schumann's still in the chat, but this is the month that I would normally be going to see Mark. I would be seeing him later this month, which I will not be doing this year because there. I don't know if you all have heard this, but there's like this pandemic going around that's like about as crazy as these guys are. It's like spreading like this. And yeah, so consequently I won't be running into him, but this is actually I know, leading lady, I hadn't even heard that there was a pandemic going on. I thought that disappeared like months ago. I don't know how we missed that. Yeah. Okay, blast command. Yes, it'll be like the blast command, I think. But it won't be. It'll be similar to this one. Public class that yes. Yo, you missed the pandemic while you were stuck at home. Yeah. The weird thing is I'm one of those people that I've worked from home for a little over 4 years now. Yeah, there's definitely something up with the bot's OAuth connection because I keep seeing it reconnecting. So that means it's reconnecting to Twitch. So I'm guessing that Twitch has some problem with its OAuth that I need to go refresh that token in some capacity because it's not working right. But the bot's working well enough, so I guess I'm not going to complain. But yeah, so I'm one of those people that works from home anyway. I prefer the remote work. Like, I like working with people. I like working close with them, but at the same time, I like not commuting long distances to work with them, and I also know a lot of people around the world that I like to work with, and clearly I'm not going to, you know, well, like, fly out to another place for a week and then come back on the weekends, because that's crazy. Yes, leading lady, I hate commutes. My previous commute before I started working from home was a 5-mile commute, and even that was annoying. I'm not a big fan of commutes. Like, I just feel like it's just wasted time. Yes, exactly. Now that you don't have a see what I mean? Like, even removing my little commute, I'm like, it's just so much extra time. And you add that up when people are like, oh yeah, my commute's an hour and a half, and you're like, so 3 hours a day just lost in travel? I'm like, they sure better be paying you a lot to do that. Yeah, exactly. Driving home was 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, see, Bravo, that's what I'm talking about. Those are the crazy ones where, like, you just add that up and you're like, it is insane. Your last commute was 10 years ago. 3 hours a day. Yeah, that is crazy, Coated Beard. Yes, exactly. You cannot get any semblance of life. Your day is basically work when you have a commute like that. You lose the entire day. It's insane. I don't know how anyone does that. It's not sustainable. It's not good for your life. It's not good for your family. It's not good for your friends. It's just awful. I find it's crazy. But I mean, I get the like half hour commutes. I don't like them because of the time it takes. For developers, we don't need to be in that location, but for a lot of people, if you really do need to get somewhere, that's not bad. Anything further than that, and it's like, man, that's just such a loss. It's why a friend of mine that also is independent does he's had a contract that, funny enough, he has had like the whole time he has been independent, and he works for them 3 days a week, and he goes into the office one of those days, and the other 2 he works from home. So that's like, if you need to catch him in the office, just schedule for that day, and he's there one time a week. And so it is super nice to, you know, have that physical presence, but not have the commute every single day. Because I think the commute for him is like 45 minutes, so he can just get rid of that. Hey, Brain, welcome. So, yes, exactly. So some people end up having to work on the road in order to get things done. Yes, exactly. Yep, like you take the train because, and things like that, because then you can work on it. So I've known a lot of people that have taken the train, even though it takes longer, but they're able to get work done while they're just sitting. Then, yes, exactly, leading lady. I really do think that the one of the best. So there are definitely some positives that can come out of the pandemic, and one of the positives I'm really hoping for is companies realizing they could do a lot more remote stuff than they did before. So I'm hoping that at least one positive is that aspect. Yes, when your commute is roll over and turn on the computer, yeah, that is nice. Exactly, yes. When something goes wrong on the highway and everyone's late to work, it's just crazy. And yes, Bravo's point of like, wake up at 6 a.m. just so you can get to work is crazy. And Brain, I'm super jealous of your 2-minute walk to work. That is nice. Yep, I sleep about, I don't know, I sleep on the other side of that wall right there. So 8 feet on the other side of the wall. I guess I have to walk around rooms, but like, I am far from where I sleep. Far. It takes you like 3 hours to get out of bed. I'm assuming you don't have kids then, Pudding? That or you do. I'm not sure, like, you don't have kids so you can stay in bed for all those extra hours, or you do because the kids are up and it's annoying and you don't want to deal with it. So I can't tell which one. Yes. Can't jump. Exactly, that is true, Pudding. Far from work. I cannot reach, like, dude, I have to go in a hallway. There is a hallway in my commute. Yes. My wife and I were married for a decade before we decided to actually do the kids thing, which I'm really glad about, because it is nice to have, you know, we were talking about that life balance thing. It is nice because the challenge is that, like, I love having kids and being a parent, but at the same time, once you are one, you can never have the I don't have kids part of your life anymore. So if you want to experience both parts and you're lucky enough to be able to, that was something that we chose to do. Some people don't get that option. And so, but again, with all of us, we, you know, just make the best of whatever we've got. So, and yes, it is quite nice. Your office is on the opposite side of the house from your bedroom. Oh man, leading lady, that is a huge, you have to cross a whole house. Oh, that's, how do you do it? Yes, kids, yes, having kids means giving up your sleep and sharing your food. That's totally true, Brain. That's totally true. That is exactly what kids do. Okay, so let's get the fireworks command working. So we're going to put this in its own file. We're not going to have it do anything really right now. My plan is this. Whoops, chat client. Send message. You called the fireworks method. Command. Fireworks command. Okay. Is that all I need to do? We'll see if I missed anything. It's been a while since I've worked on this project. I'm sure I forgot something. A lot of coffee. Yes. Yep, the parent thing, man. It's a big change. If you ever decide to do that, Brain, it's a big change. Alright, the bot is here. What did I call it? Fireworks? You called the fireworks command. Okay, command is wired up. Excellent. That's all I wanted to check. It's there. It works. Okay, so... we need one of these, I think. So we have that DI'd, so I'm going to say, give me this from the constructor. There we go. You have so much respect for everyone deciding to have kids. Exactly, Brain. Yes, it is. So the funny thing is, I did before having them, and man, it is on, like, that respect level has only increased. It takes so much more. It is unbelievable the amount of effort. There's a handful of groups of people that I have just an insane amount of respect for right now, especially during the current circumstances. Single parents, and even like non-single parents, so like the pairs of parents that are for example, don't have like a grandparent or something like that living close by, or a sibling or someone that can give them some kind of just, hey, can you hang out with the kid for, you know, this amount of time so I can do thing. And I don't know what I have no idea what people have had to do during this current circumstance. I would say that, Pudding, but I wanted to avoid that term because I want to make sure that, like, it includes, like, any structure where there's more than one person. So, like, whether it's, you know, because it could be two moms, it could be two dads, it could be even, like, you know, a non-married couple and one of them has a kid, for example. It could be a step parent for one of them. I just want to get the point across that it's like, if there's no matter what the circumstance is, if you don't have other people that can help you, the fact that daycares disappeared and schools disappeared, it's like you've got your kids that you now need to both somehow manage to work and, you know, take care of at the same time. It's like, okay, that's surprisingly challenging. So it's crazy. And yes, Brain, you've got plenty of time, and that's impressive that you're willing to admit to your age on the internet. Most people don't do that. I don't admit to my age on the internet. None of you would believe me. So the funny thing, so one of the weird things with programmers and programming is that and just like our I would say like software developers, especially people that are visible in the community, because I have been for a while. You said specifically that you were 28, and the funny thing is, when I was 21, and I would be, you know, doing conference talks and things like that as a software developer, I would go places and they wouldn't card me for alcohol. And Brain, I know you're not from the US, but you might know that 21 is the drinking age in the US, not 18 like is in a lot of places, or 16 in some others. But it's 21 here in the US, and I wouldn't get carded. And it was funny because I'd occasionally comment on that, and some of the developers would be like, well, why would they card you? And I was like, well, how old do you think I am? And they're like, I don't know, 28, 29? And I'd be like, I'm 21. They're like, wait, what? And it's like, I'm like, yeah, that's why they shouldn't just be handing me this. They should absolutely be carding me. Like, it's crazy that they're not. Like, it was absurd. My first year as a Microsoft MVP, I was awarded a Microsoft MVP award as a 21-year-old. Like my first one. And so it's like, when you think about that, it's like, okay, and what happens? Well, then Microsoft invites me out to an event where, like, it's literally open bar at every single thing, and they're just handing out booze, and it's like, I don't remember them ever checking my ID even. So it's weird that, like, and it was never Microsoft handing it out. It's like these events, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I was always 21, and maybe they did check. I have no idea. Maybe they actually looked at who I was. Maybe they checked my ID at the beginning of the event and just confirmed that I wasn't. Maybe if I was under 21, they would have marked my badge in some way. I don't know. But it was just like, that's weird. I don't know. Even your situation, let's see, even your situation hasn't been easy. You work from home, your partner still has to go to work. Yes, exactly. So yes, and that is part of the problem, is being the one stuck at home. You then have to watch the kid, and even at 8 years old, like, they're not like in danger of killing themselves all the time, but you still need to be mindful of them and make sure they're able to do all their school stuff. So yes, it is awesome, and I'm amazed that you are managing to do it. You're not far off 50. Wow, that's yeah. See, that's. You take your birth year and won't mention it anymore once I turn 30. Yes, exactly, Pudding. Yes. Whenever you can hold a pint. Yeah, there you go. Brain, I agree completely. The idea in the US that you can be an adult and still not drink is quite silly, and in fact, I think the increased drinking age probably encourages underage drinking, and even excessive underage drinking, because it makes it the forbidden activity that kids can do. So if anything, I think it might make the problem worse, but it's so complex. Yeah, there you go. Beer and wine 16, hard liquor 18. Which is a relevant thing because I took German in high school, and there was a German trip, and they did have, like, you know, like this significant permission thing for the parents that's basically like, your kid's gonna be of drinking age when they go to Germany, so, like, be aware of this. They're going to a country where your kid legally can drink. Yes, exactly, Pudding. Technically in the US, I think drinking is legal as long as you're at home and it was given to you by your parent. I don't know if there's an age minimum on that. I don't think there are probably restrictions on how much alcohol they can have, but like there's a difference between a parent handing the kid alcohol and them buying it and consuming it somewhere. The laws on things are weird. I don't know. People are crazy. I'm going to call this display notification just for simplicity on the name. Sure, you can rename that one too. Okay, so I'm going to leave the you called on there just so that I know that it happened. Fireworks. We're just going to say fireworks. Bingo Bob, welcome. Thanks for that follow, much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. We'll say starting some fireworks. Do I care about seeing that finish? I could trigger the task and leave. I mean, otherwise I'm stuck making this an async void because that's not a task. Projected override async void. I think so. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so we'll go over here. So this is the animation display notification, which needs to get a member implemented called fireworks. This will be an async task, async with a C on the end, Brendan, and it will call that. It will not say blast, it will say fireworks. That'll put it on the animation display as a task called fireworks. Okay. So now, in the overlay, where's blast? There it is. Okay. Do fireworks. Is it animations.render on this one? What is going on? Yeah, we lol task hell. I got myself in that a long time ago by not making our original commands just be had I just made our tasks async to begin with on there, we would have been fine. But I'm not willing on the stream to go back through and adjust all of them to have tasks. So since I'm not willing to do that right now, I'm going to deal with that annoyance that I just did. Yeah, so Pudding, about that, I am intending to do a DevChatter Basics video about async and await at some point and talking about it, which hopefully makes for a good intro for people to be able to just start using it. So we'll see how that goes. Whole house just started shaking. Oh, nice. Well, that's always fun, Coated Beard. It's always nice when there's road work you don't know about. I'm often surprised. So, like, a few times since living in this house, I've been surprised when I'm like, what's that noise outside? And I look outside and it's like, oh, they've torn up the street literally right outside my house and my driveway is blocked. I sure wish they had told me that they were going to be blocking my driveway to work on the road today. Like, not even once did that happen. That was twice that they've done that. Although there was another time when they actually did that I was totally okay with because a water main burst right at our street, which was like, I don't remember. It was like New Year's Day or Christmas Day or something. It was some holiday. And it's like, well, luckily we weren't going anywhere, but that's awesome. And it's funny because, like, construction workers just show up, knock on the door, like, hey, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's legit. Yeah, thank you for working on the holiday. Like, I appreciate it. Surly Dev, when and where you wondering about the like async and await stuff? It'll be on DevChatter Basics, which is a series on my YouTube channel that you can't see the link to right now because I have the bot stopped. This is the bot that posts my links for me. So the funny thing being, I could make that button just post the link, but that's way less fun than pressing the button that makes the bot post the link. Yeah, you gotta wait for it to finish loading and then it'll come up. It'll say hi when it gets here. There it is. There's the YouTube channel. And for anyone else that is wondering, there's links to Twitter, GitHub, and Discord as well, because it makes sense to do that. And yes, for my local bot that I run, yes, it is absolutely production on dev because we build it on the stream, and people want to be able to test the code that I'm deving. So yes, it absolutely is. Okay, so do fireworks is going to do that. So when the animation frame is requested, do this thing, which in this case, I don't want it to be this one. I need it to be our other one. So we'll save that for now. Yeah, no, I'm not doing hot reloads on it, which, we used to do some of that, but it just got messy. Also, the bot is having some kind of OAuth problem right now, I noticed today. It wasn't having it on Saturday, so I'm guessing Twitch did something with OAuth, and I noticed we're getting some kind of error about that, so I will have to look into that and figure out what's wrong with it. But either way, yes, Brain, that is a good idea. I don't know if I'm following you on Twitter, but I guess when I see your follow on Twitter, I might follow you on Twitter. I know I'm following eSwoogie on Twitter, at least. And I think he follows me too, but I don't know. I also want to mention that people should click the Discord button and join our Discord community, because the awesome people that are in chat, at least a good number of them, are over in our Discord. So Nerdy Programmer Talk. And by nerdy, I mean anything really related to programming or computers or games or whatever you're interested in. I don't know. I don't know what you're interested in. We keep it, you know, cool and PC, like no like crazy stuff, but yeah. Wouldn't necessarily follow me. You only post about Animal Crossing. Okay, yeah, no, I don't play Animal Crossing yet. I would kind of like to, but I don't, because my Switch sits in place and doesn't get played, so, which is a bummer. Okay, well, things I wanted to do. I managed to get the fireworks stuff about as far along as I was hoping I would get it, but we did not get our command all the way in place yet, which is a bummer to me. I was hoping I'd do that today, but I'm glad about all the stuff we talked about. I thought we talked about some good, fun stuff. This is DevChatter, after all. This is not sit around and just write code the whole time. It's, you know, talking about code. So I don't feel too bad about that. I very well might play it at some point, Surly Dev. That's among the games that there's a good chance I would play. As I said, I have not played it yet. So, oh, actually I should have kept that up. I will reload that. Alright, bot, come on. Yep. Okay, so there's the bot. You're trying to refresh your JS skills. Oh, yes, bingo Bob. That is... I'm glad you're joining in then, because I am also trying to refresh my JS, because I did a reasonable amount of JS and had a lot of JS projects like a year to 3 years ago, but then this past year I've been mostly in the server side land, and thus it is time to decobweb and de-rust all the JS skills, and feel free to ride along with us because I think it'll be a good one. All right. So I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that I have started streaming again, as you noticed, because you were just here for a stream. Whoa! Anyway, tomorrow is our planned next stream, because my schedule right now, which I don't think I've updated below, is going to be Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays again. So that was my old schedule for years, and we're going to go back to that. If I end up missing some streams here or there, don't be terribly shocked, as I, do still have client work that I have to do that will sometimes interrupt streams. That's just kind of the way my schedule has always been. But I do at least try to get in the 3 of our 4 streams a week. For Honey Pup, hey, welcome, long time no see. So next stream should be tomorrow at about the same time we started today. So if you look at your clock, subtract about 2 hours. That's around when our streams are starting for these 2 days. On Thursdays, I try to start earlier, so about 2 hours earlier. So if you take a look at your clock, subtract 4 hours, that's when our Thursday streams start. So that is for Eastern time zone, 2 p.m. on Mondays, 2 p.m. on Tuesdays, noon on Thursdays, and on Saturdays we start between them at 1 p.m. So look at your clock, subtract 3 hours, and that should get you 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's when we start on Saturdays. For all of these streams, we work on something JavaScript, C#, or something, either one of our projects. Sometimes we'll work on just programming exercises or katas and things like that. And I'm going to start talking with guests again to see if we can get other pair programmers on the stream with us, or sometimes people to talk with. So some people might remember that we've had people that have come on and talked with us about oh, my brain stopped working there for a second. We had a couple of years ago, we had John Skeet on talking with us about time zones, which was really cool. Actually, I think it was a year and a half ago. We've had people come on talking about making websites that actually support like the A11Y standards, which I don't know if people actually speak that. I'm not used to saying it out loud. I'm only used to writing it. I guess that's the weirdness with us being on the internet. Many of us are used to writing these things and not actually saying them out loud, which is kind of weird when you're like, it's like, yeah, I don't think I've ever said that. I wonder if people say ally or not, but it's weird. Anyway, feels weird to me, but maybe I'm just a crazy one. And we'll also be working on Interactive 7. I actually have a few streams that I want to do Interactive 7 stuff. Specifically, I want to finish building our moods system that will be voting on moods. So expect all of those kinds of streams coming up here shortly, and it should be good. Yes, exactly, Bingo Bob. In a few years, someone will tell us how to say it. I take it that means you're someone that says GIF instead of GIF, since you say it that way. The weird thing is, if you actually ask around, it's like, because they hadn't told us, there's groups of people that have only said it one way or the other, and the reverse just sounds weird. And yes, precisely. So it's just kind of funny. It's like, yep, when we come up with it, we get weird ones. Siket, welcome. Thanks for that follow. Hopefully I said that correctly. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for following. If anyone else hasn't clicked that button, make sure you do. Of course, it's GIF with a hard G. Exactly. Precisely. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Pronounce it. Yeah. Yeah, you pronounce it. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah. You work with a guy that says array in a way that you just can't fathom how he. I'm now wondering how this person pronounces array. Yes, exactly. It's an acronym. The creators don't get to choose how it's pronounced properly. Yeah, see, Coded Beard's on that side. I would argue that the community does get some say regardless, but at the end of the day, I don't think we're ever going to have agreement on that. Wait, you mean like A-Ray? You're saying A-Ray? Are you serious? That is awesome, Surly Dev. I've never heard anyone call it... A-Ray. A-Ray. Okay, I got it. Yeah. That's also a weird way to say it. I think A-Ray would be weirder, but A-Ray. That's nice. I like it. Well, either way, we are going to be back tomorrow for some more streaming. I hope you all had fun today. I want to roll our credits, and then we're going to go ahead and go on a raid. So please stick around and join us for that. You don't have to stay around after the fact, but do at least stay around for the raid part. I want to make sure that I thank our moderators, Katrina and S&B, for helping out on the stream today, and these wonderful people who followed our stream. So if you are one of these people, I probably thanked you when you followed, but if not, consider yourself thanked now. I always appreciate when people show up and click that button, as it is a nice way of saying that they at least enjoyed the content well enough that they want to see it again. So thank you very much, everyone. I'm really glad to be back, and I love that the developer community is still here and as welcoming and as awesome as ever. So thank you all for being great and hanging out today. Hopefully you had as much fun as I did, and I will see you all tomorrow. Happy coding. Enjoy the rest of your day, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.